Hi everyone, this video is sort of a makeup that I'm doing for the collab channel I'm a part of. Since I was without a camera for a few weeks, I missed a couple of the themes that we were covering on the collab, the Movie Reviewers 100, and the link to that channel is below in the description. So I wanted to do sort of a makeup for that. One of the themes that I missed was musicals, and one of the guys on the channel said that he really didn't like musicals all that much. For the most part, there's maybe like one or two that he likes. For the most part, he finds them kind of dumb. And I certainly get where he's coming from. Among the different genres of film, musicals are the most stagey and obvious in their artificiality. The fact that characters break out in song and dance in the middle of whatever it is they're doing is absolutely ridiculous. It's something that's much better suited, for the most part, to the stage. Because of the sort of live performance element of theater, it's easier to forgive those kinds of things because with film it's just you're sort of invited into this reality with the sets and the costumes, and everything has to look as real as possible for the most part. Whereas with theater, you have the representation of a place with the sets, but I mean, all you have to do is look to your left or right, and you're not actually where you are. So, or where they have the scene set to be. So, with musicals, yeah, it's just sort of taking that artificiality and pushing it towards you in just a much more pronounced way than, say, a camera move that calls attention to himself, or a song that suddenly pops up on the soundtrack. Reminding you of something, or maybe there's a bit of dialogue that refers to another film that the actor was in, something like that. I mean, for example, if you've got Bruce Willis in one of the Die Hard movies talking about how he was hanging out in his apartment smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo, that's immediately a reference to Pulp Fiction. Where musicals, yeah, musicals are tough for people to swallow a lot of the times. Me, of course, I come from a theater background. I have done acting in shows, and I like singing, and I like theater, drama, that kind of thing. So I am not opposed to musicals as a genre. There are some that I don't like, but there's plenty that I do like. And the film that I wanted to talk about, I mean, there's a bunch that I could talk about. The film that I wanted to talk about today was something that I've been a fan of for many, many years. Excuse me, I'm a little... I wanted to actually sing a few bits, so I'm a little nervous right now. The film is Yentl. It came out in 1983 and was directed by Barbara Streisand. Now, like I said, the chief problem with musicals is the credibility issue. The fact that characters suddenly start singing and dancing in the middle of whatever it is that they're doing. There are a few musicals that get around this problem, such as Chicago or Dancer in the Dark, in turning the musical bits of the story into a fantasy within the main character's head. Dancer in the Dark in particular, it changes the shooting style during the musical numbers, because it's what the main character, played by Bjork, is imagining is happening, rather than what's really happening. Now, Yentl takes a different tactic. The main character is Barbara Streisand. Takes place in the late 1800s, I think. Or no, sorry, the early turn of the century, early 1900s, in some unnamed European country. She is an Orthodox Jewish girl, and in her culture, it is not allowed that women study religious texts, study the Talmud, which is something that she really wants to do. She is an only child. Her mother died some time ago. She's being raised by her father, who is a scholar, a rabbi. And since she was a little girl, she has convinced him to teach her about the Talmud, even though he's not supposed to, even though it's against the law, wherever that law is written. So early on in the film, she is arguing with her father about the fact that the only reason why she can't study is because she's a girl and she loves to learn, and she knows so much more than any of the young men that he teaches. So after she puts him to bed, because he is kind of old, she breaks out in song. And the way the form of the music takes place is it's sort of like a replacement for internal monologue, or narration. Normally things that would be her just talking to herself or narrating via voiceover, it's sung instead. So here she is singing in the first scene like that, after she's argued with her father about whether or not she should study or not. The first song is called "Where Is It Written?" and the second verse goes, "If I were only meant to tend the nest, then why does my imagination sail across the mountains and the seas beyond the make-believe of any fairy tale? Why have the thirst if not to drink the wine? And what a waste to have a taste of things that can't be mine. And tell me where is it written what it is I'm meant to be, that I can't dare to find the meanings in the mornings that I see, or have my share of every sweet imagined possibility. Just tell me where is it written?" So her father is like I said, rather old, and he dies soon after that takes place. And she doesn't have a husband, of course. She doesn't have a fiance. All the women in the village are going, "What are you going to do now, Yentl?" So after his funeral, she cuts her hair off and disguises herself as a boy, and then heads off to learn, to go to school, to learn the Talmud. She takes on the name of her deceased brother, Yentl, so everyone knows her as Yentl. And along her journey, she has to basically camp out in the middle of the forest at night all alone, and sort of sings a prayer to her father. "Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you find me in the night? Papa, are you near me? Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you help me not be frightened? Looking at the skies, I seem to see a million eyes. Which ones are yours? Where are you now that yesterday has waved goodbye and closed its doors? The night is so much darker, the wind is so much colder, the world I see is so much bigger now that I'm alone." Obviously, I don't have as good a voice as Barbara Streisand, so I've included a link to that particular scene in the description. Very good quality upload of this to give you a little taste as to what, because Barbara Streisand, is of course an incredible singer. And the thing that's unique about this film, of course, is that she's the only character, since it's basically like her internal thoughts, she's the only character that does any actual singing. Most musicals, everybody in the cast sings, but as with Dancer in the Dark, she's pretty much the only person who does that stuff. So when she gets to school, she meets the Mandy Patinkin character, who I believe his name is Argivore, and he's a young guy. He's a student, and he's a very smart guy, very nice, and they hit it off. They become good friends, once he basically takes her to his rabbi, his teacher, and after being interviewed by him, she is accepted as a student, which he's very, very happy about. I am missing... No, here we are. I copied some lyrics off of the net. There are a few sites that have lyrics to the songs, because I don't have the lyrics with me. Once she's accepted, she begins to relish in the fact that she's now going to be studying formally. She's going to be an actual student versus just hiding about it all the time. Of course, she's still got to hide who she is. She has to keep up the persona of being a man. But she's ecstatic. "I can travel the past and take what I need to see me through the years. What my father learned and his father before him will be there for my eyes and ears. I can walk through the forest of the trees of knowledge and listen to the lessons of the leaves. I can enter rooms where there are rooms within rooms wrapped in the shawl that learning weaves. I remember, Papa, everything you taught me. What you gave me, Papa, look at what it's brought me. There are certain things that once you have, no man can take away. No wave can wash away. No wind can blow away. And now they're about to be mine." That would be like, a song for the climax of a story about someone who's achieved what they want, but she's a student now, and now she sort of settles into a routine of life. She's good friends with Argivore and a few of the other men who are studying, still keeping the persona, of course. But things are going pretty well for her, and she even gets to meet Hadass. Hadass is the young girl who Argivore is engaged to. He's set to be married to her, and so one day when he goes to the family home of his fiancée for dinner, he brings Yentl along. Yentl, of course, everyone is Yentl, but then she gets the opportunity to observe how a woman operates in this particular household, and how just subservient she is to the needs of the men, the father, herself, and of course Agrivor. So she's observing Hadass tending to everyone, especially to her fiance. Before he even knows that he's hungry, she's already there with his plate. Before his glass is even empty, she's filling it up. God forbid he should wait. Before he has the chance to tell her he's chilly, she'll go put a log on the fire, fulfilling his every desire. No trouble, no bother. And, so she's marveling at the fact that she doesn't seem to question this. Hadass doesn't seem to question her role in life and is perfectly willing to tend to every single one of her fiance's needs, and even more so when she becomes his wife. She finds it amusing, but also a little aggravating as well. But things are going well for her until one day when Agrivor says, "Hey, tell you what, Yentl, let's go down the river and have a swim. How about that?" And he goes, "Oh, no, I don't like to swim." It's like, "Oh, come on, we'll stay in the shallow part. That's fine." He says, No, the water, it's cold. No, the water's warm. You'll love it. It's fine." She's like, No, I don't want to do it. Meanwhile, he's taking off his clothes off and he's jumping in the water and coming out all wet and naked, everything like that. And Yentl's just like, "Look, I gotta go. I'm gonna go study. Okay, I just don't want to do it. Okay, bye." She takes off, and then she says to herself, "Oh, why is it that every time I close my eyes, he's there? The water shining on his skin, the sunlight in his hair, and all the while I'm thinking things that I can never share with him." Yeah, okay, good. Let's move on. So yeah, things are starting to get more complicated. Now, things get even more complicated when the next day, Agrivor is invited over to the family home of his fiancée and learns that they have found out about his brother. His brother, who he was telling everyone died of consumption, actually committed suicide, and his fiancée's parents cannot let their daughter marry him because of this bad thing that's happened in his family. So he's distressed because he won't get to marry Hadass, and he doesn't know what's going to happen to her now. I mean, the family obviously needs to get her married off, so as not to damage her reputation. They'll, pick the first eligible person that comes along, and then Agrivor will go, "Wait a minute, Yentl, you know what we should do? You should marry Hadass. That's right. You marry her. That way, she already knows you. She already likes you, and you're good friends with me. It would work out perfectly." And Yentl goes, "No, I can't marry Hadass. I can't. I mean, she'll just be thinking about you. Every time she'll see me, she'll be reminded of you, and it just won't work. But you have to. She's going to marry a total stranger if you don't. You've got to do this for me." And he's like, No, I can't do it. I can't do it." So Agrivor goes, "Okay, tell you what, since I can't marry Hadass, I don't want to see her married to some other guy, and I just don't really want to hang around, so I'm going to take off. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave town. I'm going to move somewhere else." And Yentl doesn't want that because she loves Agrivor too. So she agrees. She says, "Okay, I'll marry Hadass." Tomorrow night, under the canopy I'll stand with her tomorrow night, and place a ring upon her hand with her all dressed in white. Tomorrow night. I don't know how this came about, but I'll be wed without a doubt. Oh my God, I've got to get out. I couldn't run away, I couldn't leave without a trace, go anywhere or any place where no one knows my face. As a woman or a man, I don't know, just so I can run away. Run away. I'd be free, I'd be rid of all of this, but there's someone I would miss, and being near him is what this is all about. So running away is out. Papa dear, you dream of dancing at my wedding, but something tells me that I'm right, you wouldn't want to dance tonight. Isn't this a strangely logical solution? Things may not be as they appear, but the advantages are clear. He loves her, she loves him. He likes me, I like her, and I've reason to think she likes me. She keeps him, he keeps her, we keep things as they were. It's a perfect arrangement for three. Who'd have ever predicted the moment would come when I find myself grateful they've kept women dumb? She's an innocent maiden, but then so am I. That's why it's possible I could get by. Look, I've seen the impossible happen before. Maybe, God willing, it'll happen happen once more. For life, feel like a train on a perilous track. No way to stop, no way to go back. Like a snowball that's gathering speed down a hill, going faster and faster and faster until... Well, I'm not going to sing the whole movie for you, because I want you to find out for yourself what happens. But man, it gets pretty crazy. and yeah, there's a wedding and everything like that. You know, it's nuts. But I'm not going to say more about it. Like I said, I can't really do justice to the music, but I just want to give you a taste of what it's like, because it's a fantastic movie, really, really great movie. You may not be able to buy Barbara Streisand as, you know, a dude, you know. You might think everyone was stupid for not noticing, but, you know, that's part of the theatricality of musical. You have to be able to accept stuff that is obviously not real. But it's a terrific movie, and the music is just so incredible. Such great songs. I've only sung about half of them. You know, it's terrific. Just a terrific film. And I wouldn't really call myself a Barbara Streisand fan, especially after, you know, turning into a giant robot dinosaur and decimating South Park. Thank goodness for Robert Smith and The Cure, right? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.